Welcome back to Arcade Spirits! So I think I decided that for the best of both worlds, we will do romance, but we won't be weird and flirty from day one. Right now, I'd rather focus on finding a career. Any sweet loving can come later, if I feel like it. That's fine. I'm sure as you get to know people better, romance will eventually bloom. Or not. It's up to you, really. Now let's get started. To finish analyzing your personal history, please authorize me to read your social media feeds and personal information metadata. Aha! I knew it! This is some kind of scam. I'm gonna wake up in a bathtub of ice, missing a kidney. Sure, I can help you register as an organ donor.
Bad command or file name?
Oh, you were being sarcastic. Sorry, I haven't quite finished analyzing your personality, if I couldn't tell. Relax, I won't share your information with any third parties. This is strictly so I can find your dream job. Am I authorized? Another wonderful Juniper recommendation here. Just like the 17 self-help books on my shelf. Still, 18th time's the charm, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Please enjoy this recorded music.
So, do I just stand here, or...
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for waiting. I've identified your dream job and arranged an interview. 30 minutes from now. Please put on some nice clothes. Nicer than those. Please. I don't think that's too much to ask. What? For your interview, silly. You want to look your best. But, we just... How... Okay, how did you land my dream job in 20 seconds flat? Simple. I'm awesome like that. Now, get a move on, tut-tut. You need to catch the 8:20 a.m. bus, and that's 9 minutes away. Well, this is happening. But I do have a chance to get off this runaway train. Nobody says I have to obey my new digital fairy godmother. I could delete the app and go find a real job. That'd be the safest option. I could... Ah, man... But... What if she's right? She's got access to all my data in a way that I don't. Okay. A normal person, someone with high standards, would have deleted the app right there rather than hop on the bus to meet up with what were very likely men with sharp knives and a taste for kidneys. But me, I was already getting dressed before she'd finished that sentence. It's not like I believed the silly app's claims at serving my hopes and dreams on a silver platter. Honestly, I expected another shoe shop job at best. But, well... What is my dream job anyway? As much as I genuinely enjoyed being a lifeguard, I can't say I've found true direction in life yet. I'd assumed I never would, honestly. When I was young, yeah, I guess I had hopes. I had dreams. Maybe even what Iris called a spirit. After things went south in my family, I learned to put all that aside. But, assuming Iris wasn't out for my kidneys, what if it's not too late? So I thought, one last time I'll have some optimism, some faith. And as I came to realize weeks later, turns out I was right to have faith in my spirit. The bus drops me off, oddly enough, not very far from Juniper's office building. Although my destination isn't nearly as upscale as that. This is... well, it's... Wub sub. A+. It's a strip mall. Strip malls are relics of 19XX. Places where a random assortment of weird little businesses jam as many of themselves into as tight of a space as possible. For instance, I'm seeing a dentist, a used bookstore called The Whole Story, an arcade, a fast food joint, and a boarded-up health spa once called Lattes and Enemas, which sounds...
Hey! Listen!
What do you think? I think that's two things no human being should ever combine. No, I mean about your future place of work. I'm desperately hoping we're not talking about the same thing. Which one of these businesses exactly am I working at? I don't know anything about oral hygiene or old books, and I'd rather not be a fry cook. The one in the middle, silly! Office space for rent? What, behind the arcade? It is the arcade. Huh. Trust me on this. I referenced and cross-referenced and cross-cross-referenced your personality details, personal history, and social media connections. This is your dream job. My dream job. Really?
99.97%.
With 99.97% accuracy, yes. I should probably explain my confusion. Arcades are big businesses in the entertainment sector. Pro gamers are celebs. 5-star arcades are social hotspots. It's always been popular with the mainstream. But, well, restaurants are popular too, right? And for everybody who opens one hoping to be the next Iron Chef TM, a dozen more shut down in failure. Arcade competition is fierce. Paydays range from peanuts to gold, and sure, those who make it can secure fame and fortune, but those who don't, well, no wonder Iris sees this as a dream job. Video games weren't always this popular though. I read an interesting article about it once. Back in the year 1980X, we narrowly avoided a serious industry crash which would have left video games as a kid's toy fad like hula hoops. No mainstream acceptance. For instance, one of those factors could have been a terrible game based on a kids movie about a cute alien visitor who wanted to phone home. Yeah, this game takes place in an alternate timeline where the video game crash never happened because of the ET game. If this game was complete poop butts, like poop from a butt, and massively overproduced, it'd ruin video games for years. Fortunately, cooler heads prevailed, the game was delayed until it could be developed properly, and the crash was averted. This crisis only exists in theory now. Sometimes I wonder what it'd be like for people in the darkest timeline, where everything went wrong. Are gamers considered nerds and outcasts? Are arcades vanishing points of nostalgia? The mind boggles. But make no mistake, as popular as they are, the arcade industry is a dodgy, risky prospect for a job. Plenty make a run at it, only to come up short. Considering Iris was tasked with getting me a job I'd enjoy and could keep for more than a few months, this left me a bit confused. Iris, this isn't me saying no. It's an interesting prospect, but I mean, are you sure about this? You say you're 99% sure.
99.97%.
Won't this be like my lifeguard job though? Satisfying but short-lived? This arcade doesn't exactly look like a 5-star. It's no Deco's Palace, that's for sure. And to be perfectly honest, I haven't set foot inside an arcade in 15 years. Huh, I remember really enjoying arcades when I was a kid. I wonder why I stopped going to them. Iris interrupts that thought, eager to show off her homework.
My sources say yes.
Trust me, when I said I was 99.97% sure, I meant it. That's not some arbitrary number. I'm designed to be a bit silly and whimsical, but my math is deadly serious. My coders made me to be the warm, personable front of a database array that's currently laser targeted on getting you exactly what you need. Right here, right now. And when this place inevitably collapses and I lose my dream job? What makes you think that's going to happen? Because it does. It always does. I don't think your database accounts for my family curse. We've always had to, I don't know, compromise. Settle. Because things rarely work out. You always have to be ready for the worst. It's why I take things in stride these days. Does that mean you shouldn't even try? I open my mouth to protest. And then close it. As often as my life tends to crumble out from under me, it's not like she was wrong. I still had to try. And besides, what is my dream anyway? That's what I was asking myself when I left the house this morning. I don't know what I want from life. I've been coasting aimlessly for years. When things started running downhill for my family, I had to grow up fast. Put aside silliness like wanting to be an astronaut and take what I could get. Now, thanks to Iris, I've got a shot at taking something a little better than what I usually get. I owe it to myself to try and be happy and paid, not just paid. So, I opted to push on through those doors and see what waited for me on the other side. The fun plagues. The air conditioning hits me like a cool breeze, albeit one smelling of copper and corn chips. As it's early in the morning on a weekday, it's not too packed with gamers, although it's so packed with games that I'd probably have a hard time finding anyone anyway. At once, I'm struck by something odd. I actually recognize most of these games. Neat! Considering I haven't walked into an arcade in over a decade, that's probably not great. Lots of vintage stuff here from the looks of it, like really old. Although I don't recognize that game with the stage lights and things. Maybe it's karaoke or dancing? A Japanese import?
My sources say yes.
Checking. That would be Showtime Stage, a collaboration of Nihana Heavy Industry Concern and Huber's Records in Germany. It's won a lot of awards. Huh. I recognize most of these. Whoa! Is that seriously a Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze? But the one in the middle with the split screens is new to me. Fist of Discomfort, a hybrid real-time strategy and brawler beat-em-up. It's actually not that new. It's been a staple of the esports scene for the last 8 years. 2 genres I was utterly lousy at last time I checked. And over here is an old lady. Sorry ma'am, I was just talking to myself and had an overwhelming urge to complete my sentences. Thankfully, I don't think she even registered me calling her old. She looked up from her knitting, seated behind the ticket prize redemption desk, and offers a wrinkly smile.
Well, hello there. Always nice to meet someone new in the Funplex.
Yeah? The what?
Francine's Arcade Funplex. Didn't you see the sign out front, dear? Well, I chose to knock off the first 2 words when they got knocked off the building during the storm of 1980. Now it's just the Funplex, I suppose. So, how can I help you, dear?
A magical space fairy or something that lives in my phone told me to come here and find my dream job.
Hello!
Hello, I'm a magical space fairy, apparently. I half expected her to send me packing. Pretty impulsive of me to just talk about Iris like that. But she took it in stride. That said, I'm gonna end the episode here because... Bye-bye. That's a great closing, me. We should do that one more often.